What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the recording. I'm having a wonderful, wonderful day. There's one more final humiliation coming for Frosk, the key figure in the failure of G4TV. Now, G4TV, if you remember, was, I suppose if you're, an older millennial, you were around, or obviously older, you were around at the key height of G4TV. It was really before anyone had seen anything like this. Video game television, beautiful women, jokes, raunchy jokes, all this kind of stuff, making gaming seem cool instead of something that only basement dwellers did. They tried to relaunch that. It was essentially lightning in a bottle. They tried to relaunch that in 2021, and the whole world had changed. They wokeified the show. They made all the women unattractive on purpose, in my opinion. And the show failed. It was unfunny. It lacked any of what was originally good about G4TV. And it had one of the most toxic hosts on the planet. We're going to get all that after a super quick word from this video sponsor, Sheath. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor. That's right, Sheath. These boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and cool and comfortable. And hey, since they've been a long-time sponsor, I've heard from many of you who have tried out Sheath and really love it. They were invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it was hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. And on top of all sorts of awesome designs for Sheath, they've added all sorts of winter items, hoodies, gator necks, and all sorts of base layers. Head on over to the link in the description and pin comment down below. Use my promo code to save and support the channel and keep everything nice, cool, and dry. Now, if you don't remember who Frosk is, I'm not going to go run through it all again. She was extremely toxic. She blamed the show's failures on toxic gamers and people who wanted, her to be more pretty. It was a bizarre rant that divided, that really pushed everyone away. In fact, it was such a negative rant. It was such a net negative that hundreds of thousands of people who had no interest whatsoever at all in G4TV became anti-fans. This is a phenomenon that is more and more common these days. These are people that will lurk and religiously downvote your videos, dunk on you in the comment section, and slowly turn your own viewers away from you. And we see this now with The Witcher, for example, or Lord of the Rings on Amazon. There were so many divisive statements and unpopular changes made to these shows. It's galvanized original fan bases into absolutely religiously hating on the show. This is somebody who bailed on Twitter after getting endlessly dunked on and saying, let's be honest, Twitter's going down in a couple of months. Well, it's now January. Well, it's the end of December. This was November. It's been a couple of months, and I would say Twitter is thriving. This is somebody who, disingenuously attempted to frame actor Henry Cavill as, quote, problematic. Writing, Henry Cavill said some very questionable things around Me Too and dated 19-year-olds as a 30-year-old plus. Again, what's wrong with that? Seeing people throw themselves at his feet for The Witcher is weird. The show is whatever at best. Maybe she's right about that, but if it was a 19-year-old girl dating a 30-year-old man, you'd say that was empowering and there's nothing wrong with it. She's an adult. There's nothing to critique there. What did he say? What did he get Me Too'd for? He said, women don't want to be pursued anymore. You can't pursue women anymore. He's right. Now, if you're a Hollywood actor, probably. I mean, certainly there's still, in the regular community, guys are still buying girls drinks and shooting their shot and trying to, find love or hookups or whatever. You see a lot of people dunking on her. So he was in a consensual relationship? Horrifying. Then she says, weird way to out yourself, LOL. As somebody who's 31, I can't imagine ever dating a teenager. It's like, could you be more disingenuous? She's 19. Like, that's not she's purposely saying teenager because it sounds more like nefarious. So obviously the show failed. She ended up getting fired because she survived an initial wave of layoffs, probably to stick it to the haters. And then she tweeted this out: "I survived, la la la," dancing on the graves essentially of everyone that had been laid off at G4TV. This tweet got her fired. There was a huge round of layoffs. Somehow she survived getting laid off, probably because of a contract or something like that. And then she tweets this out, which is in horrible taste, given that hundreds of her coworkers just got laid off, and then led to her termination. Now, Nielsen, by the way, finally, it's so weird. It feels like we used to have a lot more information around ratings and things of that nature. But like now it seems like it comes out months later. Like we just got the final ratings numbers from Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, the Ring-a-Ling-a-Ding-Dong, like 4 months after the show stopped airing, 3 months after the show. So Nielsen numbers now confirm that Comcast's failed G4 revival was the lowest watched television network of 2022. The lowest. They say that numbers don't lie, and according to the year-end television ratings report from Nielsen, Comcast's quickly shuttered attempt at reviving G4 was unsurprisingly an abysmal failure in terms of viewership. That's no hyperbole either. As per an overview of the metric analysis agency's findings shared by IndieWire, G4TV had the worst primetime audience of all 126 standard cable channels offered to American audiences. The worst. Dead last. Dead last. How bad was G4TV's 2.0 last place finish? During its brief run from November 2021 to October 2022, the network managed to pull an average of only 1,000 viewers from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Monday through Friday. 1,000. 1,000. That's shockingly bad. It's like Peter Griffin. Zap. Shockingly expensive. I mean, shockingly bad. 1,000 viewers. For comparison, the other network, which debuted this year alongside G4, the telenovela dedicated to Gala Novelas, TL Novelas, I don't know, came in 114th with 15,000 average viewers. So it wasn't even that they were like dead last. They were massively dead last. Massively. Just above G4 in the ratings were outdoor hunting oriented network Pursuit Channel, which ranked 125th with 2,000 average primetime viewers. And the foreign MNA region sports network BeIN Sports, or BN Sports, which ranked 124th with 3,000 average viewers. This is actually insane. The Video Game Network was also beat out by Comedy.tv with 4,000 viewers, a channel dedicated to literal clips of various comedy acts, and Clio TV, whose program was solely made for a demographic of younger black women. To put G4's disastrous performance, by the way, this is via Bounding into Comics, performance into further perspective, the top three most watched cable networks were MSNBC with 1.2 million viewers, ESPN with 1.9, Fox News with 2.33. While many will understandably rush to cite former X-Play host Indiana Frost's new infamous isms in gaming rant as the reason for the network's failure to capture any sort of audience, it should also be noted that while her identity politics-laden scred was undoubtedly a major factor in that regard, the writing was all on the wall for G4 even before it returned to air. As explained in Bounding into Comics' own Jacob Smith, in the immediate aftermath of G4's collapse, even aside from the abysmal choice in hosts, the odds for success in 2022 are even worse than they were in the late 2000s thanks to a simple factor, the internet. Correct. I mean, they didn't have any chance. You know, they just had no chance to compete in this modern landscape, especially if they were going to come out of the gates and tell their old viewers, their loyal viewers, that they're toxic. So nobody wanted the new product they were selling, which is why you understand that, like, all this woke, like, video game crap is all gaslit. It's all AstroTurf. Nobody actually wants it. Because when they see the numbers, they prove it. What a spectacular failure for a show that probably didn't have a huge chance of success, but certainly could have ingratiated itself with the online audience had they not been so unlikable. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe down below. I hope you have a wonderful day. Before you go, I promised some channel highlights to people who submitted them. So here's one of the ones that made the cut.
Yeah, what the deal is. Wonder why them thoughts about us still appealing. Wonder why your boy still caught up in his feelings. Wanna trade these inner demons for some dollars, maybe feel him. Yeah, so I talk to God, hope she hear him. Wanna know exactly who that man up in the mirrors. Feel like they judge him on appearance, not his merit. Yeah, but he gonna want the man since he embarrassed. Cause he know that she gonna tell him he wrong. And it's just 2 hours till dawn. And he gotta just keep holding on and keeping his head up and strong. And know that it ain't gonna be long. He exactly where he belong. And if he can go on and find himself, he gon' find his way.
Don't turn up, but won't you stay? Don't fade away. It'll be alright. Won't you stay? We'll find our way home.
Yeah, so dedicated to the ones that feel alone, that ain't no one gonna hear what they've been saying. Yeah, and I've been relating, cause I felt the same myself, thinking that ain't no one gonna come around when you're yelling for help. So they just, yeah.